All right, I get it. You believe in your politician. You believe in the person you want to vote for because they say they're going to do something that they want to do. They say they're going to do something that you really, really need, like healthcare, like immigration reform to make the country safer and all that. The person you voted for, all the way from the Senate to the Congress to the president, they have been in charge of those solutions for however long you had them in office. If they did not do anything about those solutions, that they're easy to check out. It's an easy process to go through. Go on, if you're looking up a Senate, and how they voted, and if they voted the way you'd want them to vote on issues you care about that it upsets you, go and make sure they're voting your way before you vote again. Because the definition of each party these days really doesn't mean much. It doesn't. Unless the party is all that matters. If you want America first, if you want someone in office that wants what's best for America, not what's best for their party or their president or whatever, what's best for America, you will find somebody for those positions that votes the way you want them to about the subjects you want them to take those positions on. That's what a representative of the people is supposed to do on both sides of the aisle. They're supposed to vote on the behalf of the people who didn't vote for them too, because they're a representative. They just won. They just won that seat. But if they're not doing what they were supposed to do, if the people you put in office voted down price gouging regulations for these big companies who since then have made record profits from price gouging, which is why everything's so expensive in the stores, has nothing to do with who's in the White House. You know what their ability to do that does have to do with? The Consumer Protections Department. That was defunded and kicked out, basically destroyed, that whole department, back in Trump. They were the ones that made sure the consumers weren't charged extra fees by the banks, weren't charged ridiculous percentages. The real estate, Dodd-Frank, when that was destroyed, because it kept the banks and the real estate market more in check so they couldn't inflate their values, so they can take out bigger loans and make. Does that sound familiar to anyone? You know who got rid of all that stuff? The real estate developer. Yeah. That's why the housing market's going batshit crazy right now. Because of that, it's not regulated anymore like it was. That was keeping things down. Now big corporations are buying houses without looking at the houses for $100,000 more than sticker price. They're doing that for a reason. They don't care about the houses for the neighborhoods, but you know what they are going to do? They're going to raise rents if they decide to rent the houses. They're going to put out Airbnbs so the renters have nowhere to live if they can't afford to buy a house that is now priced out of market because they're paying extra money, so now the market's skyrocketing, creating a bubble. What would have prevented the bubble? Oh yeah, that law that was put into place to prevent the fucking bubbles. Your guy got rid of that. But you're bitching about housing prices. You're bitching about rent. You're bitching about grocery prices. You're bitching about money being sent to Ukraine. And what? Help the veterans first. Okay, great. Which side of that do you want to attack first? The help the veteran side? Okay, let's look at the help the veteran side. Look at all the things that were put up to help the veterans. Look at the regulations that fought for 14, 15 years to get passed for like the 9/11 and the PACT Act and all that other stuff. And what did Trump do when he got in office? He cut all that money. He cut it. He gutted it. So what was fought for and approved, finally, like pulling teeth, was shredded as soon as Congress got the power and Trump got the power. That's a fact. So veterans, if you're looking for that guy, if you are... God bless you. Thank you for your service and your honor. But you're talking about Donald Trump caring about veterans? How much does he have to do to prove to you he doesn't give a shit about veterans or their families or honoring the flag or like the one he just signed? He doesn't give a shit about what you say are your core values. Get your head out of your ass and recognize that. I'm sorry. All respect. You served our country. You helped make it how awesome it is. But when it comes down to it, the actions that this man has taken in front of everybody define who he is. And you, heroes, are defending a man who looks into the camera and say, I don't have to abide by the Constitution. And if you don't believe he said that, do some homework. Because it's out there. Many, many, many times over. It's in court filings. Don't say that you believe he's the best for veterans, because he's not. Don't say the Republicans you've had in office this entire time are fighting for veterans, because you can look up their votes and you can find out they're not fighting for veterans. They're fighting against veterans. They are stripping you and your family of health care, of doctor's visits. They're right now, one of the proposals on the table right freaking now, and you could look this up, is if you're getting disability because, God forbid, your service made you, in a wheelchair or whatever, and you're getting a pension, you only get 10 years of a pension. And they cancel your disability because you're getting the pension. You don't need it. That's on the books right now. Republicans are trying to push through. Look it the fuck up. But stop hiding behind your service. Because you're wrong. And just because you serve doesn't make you right. Look it up. Joe Biden is responsible for the biggest raise in military history in pay and in benefits until Republicans shoot it down. That's a fact. Look up their votes. It's not a political speech I'm giving. It's documented. It has to be. Congress.org. Congress.gov. It's all there. They vote publicly. Those votes they do roll call. So your guy, look up. And if you refuse to, then shut up. Because obviously you're talking out your ass. And if you're pissed off at Taylor Swift because she's some billionaire, so her voice shouldn't count and just go back to singing, who are you defending? A guy who got his money in not so ethical ways, or from Daddy, or from Vladdy, or a woman who writes her songs, busts her ass on her music, and created this empire, and she helps people every step of the way, not for press, not for headlines. Most of it's out of the headlines. And she not only pays her employees, she pays her employees very well. And she gives them, like the truck drivers, $100,000 bonuses. $50 million worth of them. Out of pocket. Because she felt like it. And you're burning her stuff. You're taking concert tickets away from your daughter, breaking her heart. And then you're proud of it because your face was on TMZ. That's what your group is doing. This country's better than this. You're better than this. Republicans, I know you're patriots to the best of your knowledge. Your vote can't be all that dictates your actions, because your vote is steering you down the wrong freaking path. And your refusal to recognize that is your choice that you are making on a daily basis. But your choice is hurting a lot of people. You need to own that. I stand for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, because I'd rather have someone who's interested in feeding children than being okay when they get unalived at school, when they're not getting their sex change operations. And when the children are unalived, the response is, it's part of life, get over it. But they're pro-life, so let's strip away the rights of every woman in this country because of it. That's the country you want. I don't care who's running, who's promising you that shit. What outweighs that? Please explain it to me.